Hi everyone, this is Pleiadian Star Healer and welcome to this week's Pleiadian Starcast. So this Starcast goes from March 7th to March 14th. Okay, so for those who are new, I go over the weekly energy. I've created my own spread where we go over the main energy, the energy that challenges the main energy, the root cause, the past that's influencing the current week, two paths that we can take towards our healing, what we can do to endure the week, the cosmic support, our hopes and fears, and then the outcome if we were to take the advice given from the deck. So this week I'm going to be using the infamous Thoth deck. So let's see what this week has for us. And so we have here, so for the main energy of the week, we have the Two of Swords. So there is this perhaps a question or trying to figure out what is the best option for us. I feel like, if you see, it says here in the bottom, it says peace. So I feel like there may be a decision of what could we do to gain more peace in our life. Maybe there's two situations or two options that we're like trying to weigh in, trying to figure out like what could we do where it could benefit all parties, and not just all parties, but most specifically yourself, because you don't ever want to do things where you're making everyone happy, you're fulfilling honoring everybody's boundaries, and then it's like when it comes to you, it's like, what happened? Nothing, So there may be a decision that we need to make in regards to what we can do to live a more happier life, have a more peaceful life. Maybe there's a decision of where that you may have to let certain situations go, whether this be job, relationships, so there may be this situation where you have to let something go. But of course, the difficult feelings get in the way, and we're just like, is it the right thing? Am I doing the right thing? So there may be questions of whether or not you should do something. But I feel like definitely is asking you to look more towards peace. What gives you peace? Because we could have connections and relationships that vary for long, like years. But if it comes to a point where they're taking stuff from you, or they're not contributing to your peace and overall happiness, then it may be time to like, bye. All right, so let's see what the opposing energy is. Okay, so we have the Queen of Swords. So again, you see, there may be like having difficulties in making the decision and knowing whether or not to just like cut it off. Because if you look at the cards, she has the head of her enemy, so there is that, and the Queen of Swords is a mature woman, a person that has intellect, that already has experience in things. So there may be that challenge of knowing whether or not to really like cut people off in situations that no longer serve us, because we may be in that contemplative ish moment where we're like, is it because it's just for now? Is it in my best interest? Am I being too cruel? Because the Queen of Swords, the shadow aspect of the Queen of Swords, she can be kind of like cutthroat. So there may be questions about, am I being too cruel if I do that? Like, am I being too just cutthroat, not giving people a chance? So definitely there is questions about what we're doing in regards to the relationships and stuff. Then we have the root cause, the devil. So this shows me, yes, like there may be a need to like cut it off, okay? Because we know the devil is like, he has you shackled, but not really. So it's like you may feel bounded, you may feel restricted, but you're not really, because you need to be able to consciously choose to change, to constantly choose to move on and say, that's it, we're not doing this no more. And you know, the devil represents, you know, all the bad habits, toxic relationships that are turning toxic, situations that are turning toxic, and that they're no longer for us. So I feel like we definitely see that, like we are aware, because that's the root cause, the base. So we are aware that things are turning toxic and things are no longer good for us. Situations, you know, perhaps a job is not good for you. We know it, you know, but somehow there is still like the devil, there's still like this pulling, this shackle that has you there, you know, you're just like, should I not, you know, it happens, okay, we're human. We're always contemplating and second guessing ourselves, you know, but this is where our trusting of ourselves and intuition comes into play, you know what I'm saying? Because like, we're always going to find ourselves in the same cycle, like the devil, you know, because we're always going to be finding ourselves in the same cycle, in the same, you know, ball, you know, we're going to find ourselves in the same old shit, you know. So we need to make a decision. If we don't want to keep repeating, you know, these repetitive cycles and stuff, we do need to like decide, you know, and aim for what is going to give us the most peace. Okay, so then we have what energy from the past is like affecting this week. Look at that. We have the 5 of Wands. So I do feel like this is like about the action, you know, because, you know, we know the Wands is about action, and 5 is usually a very like conflictive number. So there may be like conflictive, you know, like I said, conflictive, you know, thinking, like, am I being too brash, you know, because fire, especially like fire signs, we could be too brash about things, or we just jump, you know. So definitely there is like this battle of like, should I do these things? Is it in my best interest? So 2 paths to healing, right? Okay, so we have first the Ace of Disc. So this is great, especially when it comes to like jobs and abundance in general, you know. So Ace of Disc is great. So we will like, well, I feel like with the 5 of Wands, like I do feel like energetically this is like saying we need to take action to basically like uncross our like uncross ourselves, you know, and not dealing with people's crap or situations that are going to be, you know, making us sick, or just frustration, or just draining us, you know. Okay, so then we have the Ace of Discs. So there's this energy of needing to find greener pastures, right? Like to be able to say, you know what, I'm just gonna leave this behind and you know, seek better friendships, or just do well for myself. And then we have the 5 of Cups. So, and it's just disappointment there. So, you know, we may need to go through these emotions of disappointment. I mean, that is the whole point of shadow work, right? So there will be disappointments, just an overall feeling of loss and disillusionment, you know, but it is best for you to feel these emotions, because they will contribute to your healing. Because if you repress them and you just try to bury them, eventually they're going to show up in your other relationships, you know, because this is where, like, again, where the devil energy comes in, you know. So if we don't deal with these kind of issues now and these kind of difficult feelings, or at least be in the motion of it, they will show up eventually again, either with the same person if you haven't cut them off, or the same situation, or they'll show up in new people. Isn't that how it always is, right? So then we have, so what we could do, you know, is we have the Fool. So like taking action, taking risk, you know, being willing to move forward and try new things. And so this may also be like for jobs. So for maybe, you know, there's like, should I quit this job? Should I really start taking action towards a new project, you know, starting my own business or whatever. So there may be issues around there, like deciding on, you know, because there could be fears of like, what if I do that and it doesn't come through? You know, what if I don't make enough money, you know, so there may be worries about that. So for the sitter's position, which is the collective, we have the Fool. So it's just saying like take the risk, you know. And I do feel like also this is like for the springtime. So maybe you should start already planning on what you're gonna do as we enter spring. The butterfly stood out, so definitely this is asking, I feel, to really start engaging in and going with the flow of transformation. You know, also we have the dove there, so it's just like, and it matches with the main energy of peace. So I feel like this kind of movement that you guys are going to be making is going to provide that peace. It's going to provide that transformation. You just need to take the risk. And if you see in the back, we have the disc there. So like for some of you who want to embark on like new project, business, you know, we have that there is like that money, you know, in the back, you know, it's like waiting for you. But we need to go over the disappointment, you know, the loss, you know, and just having like that inner battle, you know, like should I do this? And because I feel like most of the situations, like I feel like they're very clear for us. What makes it difficult is us. We are our own greatest obstacle because we can never come to a decision of yes, like, you know, we're like our huge battle. So even though we may feel like we're an adversary with someone else or a situation, it's always us towards ourselves that is like we're always like in this constant battle, you know. So I do feel like the energies of this week is just saying, you know what, can you just fucking go for it already? Like, stop it. Because I do feel like we know this. Because with the Queen of Swords, it's like, hello. It's like, you know, like one more sign. Because I do feel like they may be like, oh, give me a confirmation. Give me a sign that this is the right thing to do. And I do feel like the universe is like here. And we're just like, give me another sign. Give me another confirmation. You know, so we have to stop doing that. I know it's hard, you know. And you know, like with the Five of Cups, you know, path of healing, you know, I feel like there's just this need of, you know, crying. Have an ugly cry. It's okay. Cry that, you know, you have to let these situations go. Because crying is very cleansing. You know, society has programmed us to think that crying is weakness, but it's actually so very healing. So it's okay to cry. Cry. Say, you know, like I'm ugly crying because, you know, perhaps the situation has been in your life for a long time. And that's okay to hurt and be disappointed and be like, and really think that, you know, there was certain situations or people that were really gonna stand the test of time. You know what I'm saying? So it's okay. So the path towards healing is to definitely just release that and just cry it out, you know, and just deal with these emotions and really try to understand that as you upgrade and as you shift into different cycles, as we have with the Fool and the butterfly, you know, as we shift into different cycles, people are going to fall in and out of our lives. In situations, we may lose a job, we may get laid off, you know, projects may come to a stall, you know, things happen for our own lesson, you know, where we need to learn certain things. So how does the cosmic support us? So we have the Three of Wands. So this is like celebration and things coming to fruition, you know, things going into action, because then you have like the sun symbol on the top. So we do know with the sun, you know, that's like optimism, opportunities, joy, happiness, celebration, you know. So like the cosmos is like, hey, I got you know, or more like your higher self, like whatever you believe in, okay, like source, universe, whatever makes you happy, you know. Even if you only believe in yourself, like your higher self, know that your higher self got you, you know, that you can create the world that you want, you know. Is it going to be easy? Because when the fuck have you seen life ever easy? When? Never. So just get used to the fact that that's life. Life is never going to be easy. But we can either sit there and die and be like, oh, I can't. Oh. Or we can be like, no, fuck that. I don't care how hard it's going to be. I'm going to get there. I don't care what I have to do. I'm going to get there. And I'm going to go with the flow. And if there's changes, I'm just going to follow the new path that has been created for me. And I'm just going to keep going. Okay? Because wanting life to be easy is unrealistic. It's never going to happen. It's how you manage that kind of energy. It's how you manage when these upheavals and craziness happens. It's how you as a person deals with that kind of energy. Because if you're expecting the universe, life, source, God, whatever, to be gentle and nice and like, you're being very unrealistic. Okay, so let's not do that. So now we're going to go with the hopes and fears. Let's see what the hopes are. Oh boy. Okay, so the hopes is this, the Seven of Cups, where we're hoping that the stuff that we're in, like the situations that we're facing right now, are not an illusion, you know, like false promises and things. But you know, with the Seven of Cups, we know that that's not good, you know. So we may have hopes that perhaps the particular situation or person is who they, it's just like this moment where we're like, oh no, it's probably just you know, it's just some bullshit right now. But no, it's asking you to just like stop it, you know, like just get out of that, you know, illusion and really face things, you know. And I do feel like, because we're trying to avoid the disappointment, because where I placed the card is like adjacent to the Five of Cups, so we may not want to see things for the way they are, because we don't want to be disappointed, which is totally understandable. But we need to face the music, okay? Like, we need to just face it, okay? So the fears are the Lovers. So this is like the fear of not finding like totality, you know, completion. This also, I feel like when it comes to love or just anything in general, is asking you to, especially the top deck, okay, because I feel like it asks you to do like certain goals and stuff. So it's like, it's asking you to really review, to understand your ideology about the experiences that you have in your life. So like, or just certain things like love, like to really evaluate, what is your idea of love? Like, could it be that it's unrealistic? Perhaps you feel like you can't be happy unless you have someone in your life. Just really, or just having unattainable expectations. So it's asking you, you know, to really think about that. Like, is your ideology about love and money unrealistic? I feel like it definitely is asking you to, if you want to get out of that fear and want to be able to move forward, you definitely, or not to be repeating the same behavior stuff, you definitely need to review, like, what is your ideology about certain things that happen in your life. And I do feel like in the fears position, this is like, there may be fears of, what if I won't be able to complete my goals? What if I won't be able to have this wholeness, this happiness, and just a union of situations or people and things like that. So there is that fear that if we let this main energy go, that maybe we won't ever find it again, or maybe we won't find something better, maybe we'll find something worse. So there is that issue, like negativity. But I do feel like that energy is coming from the devil, you know, because the devil wants to keep us, it wants to keep us there, it wants to keep us restricted. So we may feel like, oh, I'm never gonna find a better lover than that, you know, whatever, you know, because we start to find little minute qualities of situations just so we can stay. You know, I do feel like humans are prone to making excuses, you know, because we go like, oh, but you know, he or she may be bad at this and that, but there's just this thing that this person does that makes me happy. You get what I'm saying? So there may be like this conversation of like trying to make excuses for people and saying like, oh, maybe they're just having a bad, you know, moment in their life. But if it's something consistent where it's always happening and you know that it's toxic as fuck, because we do have the Queen of Swords, it's like, you know it. You have the wisdom already, you have the experience, you have the intelligence already. So at this point, I do feel like it's fucking excuses. And with the Seven of Cups, it's like you're creating this illusion because you don't want to face the disappointment. You don't want to take the risk, as with the Fool. You don't want to take the risk because you go like, what if I meet something worse, or it doesn't come through, you know? So there is just this restrictive feeling of not wanting to do it. But with the cosmic support, we have the Three of Wands. So the Three of Wands is just like, can you fucking quit it and just take the risk. You know, you may feel like a fool because that's the uncertainty, the fear, you know, because we're just like, oh my God, like, but it's also asking you to be like the fool, because the fool sees the world through the eyes of a child. It sees the world with wonderment and excitement and curiosity. So the universe is, you know, asking you, or your higher self, whatever the fuck, you know, it's asking you, like, just do it. You know, and some people may see you as a fool. Some people may be like, oh, don't do that, because, you know, because the fool also is someone where people underestimate them. So don't let people underestimate you, and most importantly, don't underestimate yourself. Just don't do it, because then you're gonna find yourself in the same shit over and over. There's a reason why they were like, same old shit, different day. There's a reason why they made that. It's for people who like to stay in the same cycle. And there has to come a point where you're just like, that's enough of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So then we have like, what is the outcome? If we listen, oh my gosh, I got chills. I'm sorry. Because I like turned it over and I'm like, you know, what do we expect? If we take the advice that I'm giving today, right? The energy that's coming through, and you're just like, you know what? I'm tired, fuck that. Even if it hurts and it causes disappointment, pain, loss, grief, but you do it and you're just like, I'm gonna take that risk. I'm gonna do better. No matter how hard it is, like whatever, you know, trials and tribulations, you know, appear, I'm gonna get there. Look, you cannot make this shit up. Look at that. Look at that. Okay, so like, please give me a break, all right? And just go for it, okay? Because like, remember in the cosmic support with the 3 of Wands, we have the sun symbol. So like, it supports that. Like the cosmic, you know, like your higher self, whatever, your God, your God's deities, they're just like, dude, just do it. What the fuck you waiting for? Just do it, you know? Just be willing to go through the battles, because life ain't easy. So if you're expecting for things to be easy, even if you see that other people have it good and you're like, oh, but they're celebrating, what do you know? How do you know they didn't cry tears of blood to get where they at? Because people only see the victory, people only see the success, but they don't see the fucking disappointment, the cries, the tears, the struggle that those people had to do to even get there. So don't be so fixated about other people, like, oh, but other people, you know, they seem to have it easy. How the fuck do you know? You don't know shit. Why? Because you're not them. You don't live like them. You don't live with them. You don't know. You're not on their journey experiencing what they're experiencing. So just stop that. Stop that shit of saying like, oh, you know, being jealous or envy of other people's success, because you do not know what they had to go through to get there. But you know how you're gonna know? By embarking on that journey on your own, okay? And so the external forces are like, just, can you just stop and just go for it? Do what you gotta do. Deal with your emotions. Don't suppress them. Just be like, you know what? I'm gonna cry my ass away. I'm gonna deal with it, but I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna seek greener pastures. Because the sun, happiness, opportunities, they're waiting for you. So when are you gonna get out of your own way? Tell me. Okay? So, that is the end of your Pleiadian Starcast. I hope it makes sense. I really do hope it resonates. If you like this reading, let me know in the comments below. If it resonated, you know, let me know. You can also join me on my other social medias, because now I'm on TikTok. Okay, so I'm like on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, and Twitter. I had to open up a Twitter as well. Alright, so I wish you guys the best week. I really do hope that you can apply this energy to your life, because I really do hope that you embark on that journey and where you can finally live the life that you were meant to live. Alright, so thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your support. And if you guys ever want to book a reading or a healing with me, I will leave. You can reach me in any of my social media in the description box. And I will see you guys all next week for another Pleiadian Starcast. Bye bye.